Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. For today, I'll be sharing with you guys on how to crochet an applique bucket hat, which I recreated from the Urban Outfitter hat that Harry Styles recently wore. To make this hat, you would need yarns of the different colors: green, yellow, black, white, and pink. And here I used a 4-ply yarn. You would also need a 4.5 mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors and needle. To begin, you would need to do a magic ring. You would then do 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Then tighten the magic ring. You would then do a slip stitch into the first stitch. For round 2, you would begin with a chain 1, followed by 2 single crochets into each stitch. So here into the first stitch, I'm doing 2 single crochet, and you would continue to do 2 single crochets into each of the rest of the stitches. So in total, you would have 12 single crochets. Again, you would end this round by doing a slip stitch into the first stitch. You would start off the third round by doing a chain 1, followed by 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the second stitch. So you would continue to repeat the pattern of 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and in total you would have done this pattern for a total of 6 times. At the end, you would have a total of 18 single crochet, and you would complete this round by doing a slip stitch into the first stitch. For the fourth round, you would begin with a chain 1, followed by 1 single crochet into the first 2 stitches. So here I already did 1 into the first stitch and another 1 into the second stitch. And then the third stitch, you would do 2 single crochet into that third stitch. So you would be repeating the pattern of 1 single crochet, followed by 1 single crochet again into the next stitch, and then followed by 2 single crochet into the third stitch. So in terms of the single crochets, you would be repeating the pattern of 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and you would do this for a total of 6 times. So for the rest of the top of the hat, you would follow a similar concept where you would start each round with chain 1. You would then follow the steps written in the brackets for each of the rounds. So for round 5, you would do 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet, and you would repeat it for a total of 6 times. You would continue to follow this pattern for round 5 all the way to round 14. And if you notice, the number of stitches that you do 1 single crochet into will continue to increase sequentially. And after you repeat the steps in the brackets, remember to add each round with a slip stitch. If you would like to increase the size of your bucket hat, feel free to add additional single crochets after round 14. So for example, for round 15, you would do 1 single crochet into 13 stitches, and then followed by a 2 single crochet. Likewise, feel free to stop at an earlier round, even before round 14, to make the hat smaller and make a hat that fits you best. I will meet you guys once you have finished making round 14. So here, I'm completing the final round of the top of my head, which is round 14 for me. And for round 15, I would then do a chain 1, followed by 1 single crochet into the back loop only of each of the stitches. As I'm doing only 1 single crochet into the back loop of each of the stitches, the total number of single crochets that I make will be the same as the one that I did for the previous round, which is 84 single crochets. I would then finish this round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. So for round 16 to 28, I will follow the same pattern where I start each round with a chain 1, followed by 1 single crochet into each stitch, and I will complete each round with a slip stitch into the first stitch. And what we are making now is basically the side of the hat. I will meet you guys once you're at round 28. So now I'm at the very last round, and for the last single crochet, I would complete it using a yellow yarn as shown. You would then complete the final round with a slip stitch using the yellow yarn. And then you can tie the green and yellow yarn together. So for the next round, which is round 29, you would do a chain 1 followed by 1 single crochet into each of the stitch using the yellow yarn. You would then do the last single crochet and complete it with a green yarn as shown. You would then do a slip stitch into the first stitch. You can now cut the yellow yarn as you no longer need it and tie the green and yellow yarn together. And from now on, we are going to make the brim of the hat. So for round 30, I will do a chain 1, followed by 1 single crochet into the first 13 stitches. And after completing the 1 single crochet in the first 13 stitches, I would do 2 single crochet into the 14th stitch. And so I would repeat this pattern where for every 14th stitch, I would do a 2 single crochet instead of a 1 single crochet. And so for clarification, what I did was to divide the total number of single crochets that I had by 6. So I had 84 single crochets to begin with, and then I divided it by 6, which gives me 14. So I know that I would need to do an increase into every 14th stitch where I do 2 single crochet into every 14th stitch. And so if you made a hat of a different size from me, where the total number of single crochet is different, you just need to divide that number by 6, and you know that you would need to do a 2 single crochet into the stitch of whatever number you get when you divide by 6. And so at the end of my round 30, I have 90 single crochets. And I will complete this round by doing a slip stitch. For round 31, I will do chain 1 followed by 1 single crochet into each stitch. There is no increases at all, so the total number of single crochet remains the same, which is 90 single crochet. And I will then complete this round by doing a slip stitch. So for the rest of the brim of the hat, which is round 32 to round 36, you would follow a similar concept. So you would do increases at round 32, 34 and 36, while for round 33 and 35, you would just do 1 single crochet into each stitch. And so you can follow this pattern as shown here, and I will meet you guys once you're at round 36. So here I am at round 36, and for the very last single crochet, you would complete it with a white yarn. You would then do a slip stitch, followed by a chain 1. You may then tie the green and white yarn together and cut the green yarn as you no longer need it. So for round 37, you would do 1 single crochet into the first 6 stitches. For the very last single crochet, which is the 6th single crochet, you would change color and complete the last single crochet with the opposite color, which is black in this case. You may then tie the shorter end of the black yarn with the white yarn together. So, using the black yarn, you would do 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. And as you do so, remember to carry along the white yarn also, because we are going to be alternating the colors. And again, for the last single crochet, you are going to complete it with the opposite color. So continue to repeat this pattern where you do 1 single crochet into every 6 stitches with the alternating colors. And remember that you would complete the last single crochets with the opposite color. So once you are done with this row, you would complete it with a slip stitch. You would continue using the black yarn to do a chain 1 for round 38, and then do 1 single crochet into the first stitch with a black yarn, but you would complete it with a white yarn as shown. This will allow us to create a slightly zigzag look. And then we are going to do 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches using the white yarn. And then you would complete the last single crochet with the opposite color, which is black. So again, the pattern would be similar from here on, where you do 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and you would alternate between the 2 colors. I will then meet you guys once you are near to the end of this round. So now I'm towards the end of the hat, and you will end with 5 single crochet for the black yarn because we already did 1 single crochet at the beginning. You can then complete this round by doing a slip stitch, followed by a chain 1, and then you can cut the yarn. And pull the yarn through. You can now weave in all the remaining yarns. And now you are done with making the main body of the hat. I will now be sharing with you guys on how I made the appliques, which is a 6-petal flower, a 12-petal flower, yin and yang, and also a wheel-like applique. So for the 6-petaled flower, I will use a yellow yarn to form a magic ring. And then do 6 single crochet into the magic ring. Tighten the ring and then do a slip stitch. For the second round, you would do a chain 1 and 2 single crochet into each stitch. So in total, you would have 12 single crochet. Once you are done, you would then finish this round with a slip stitch. You can then chain 1, cut the yarn, and then pull the yarn through. You can then weave in the center of the yarn and cut it. Now to make the petal, we are going to use a pink yarn and pull it through the first stitch. So I would start with a chain 3, followed by 4 triple crochets into the next stitch. And then you would do a chain 3 and then do a slip stitch into the next stitch. You would then continue to repeat this pattern as shown in the brackets, and you would do this until you make a total of 6 petals. For the very last slip stitch, you would do it into the first stitch. You can then do a chain 1 and cut the yarn, and make sure that the yarn is long enough for you to attach the applique to the hat later on. And once you have cut the yarn, you can pull the yarn through. So you can use the leftover yellow yarn and the pink yarn to attach the applique to the hat. Now for the 12 petal flower, we will also begin by doing a magic ring. And then you would do 6 single crochet into the magic ring. tighten the magic ring and then do a slip stitch. For round 2, you would begin with a chain 1, followed by 2 single crochets into each stitch. And so in total, you would have 12 single crochet. You would then complete the round by doing a slip stitch into the first stitch. At round 3, we are going to do the petal, and we would begin with a chain 5. And then you would do 1 single crochet into 2 of the chains. And then you would do a slip stitch into the next 2 chains. You can then do a slip stitch into the first stitch of the main circle. And then do another slip stitch into the next stitch. And so you would repeat the pattern where you do a chain 5, followed by 1 single crochet into the 2 chains, and then you would do slip stitches into the next 2 chains, and then you would do a slip stitch into the main circle at the same stitch where your chain 5 began. You would then do another slip stitch into the next stitch. So you would repeat the patterns as shown in the brackets until you get a total of 12 petals. After forming a slip stitch to the same stitch as the chain, for the very last slip stitch, you would do it into the first stitch of the round. You can then chain 1, and then you can cut the yarn and make sure that the yarn is long enough for you to attach the applique onto the hat, and then pull the yarn through. Now to make the applique of the yin and yang, we are going to use a black yarn to make a magic ring. You would then do 6 single crochet into the magic ring. And then tighten the magic ring. And to complete this round, you would do a slip stitch, followed by a chain 1, and then you would cut the yarn and pull the yarn through. You can then weave in the yarn in the center. Now for round 2, we are going to pull the yarn of the opposite color, which is white, through the first stitch. I would then do a chain 1, followed by 2 single crochet into each stitch. And while I do so, I can hide the black and white yarn along so that I can just cut it later on, as I no longer need it. And then once I'm done, I would do a slip stitch to complete this round. For round 3, I would start with a chain 1, followed by 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then into the second stitch I do 2 double crochets. And then in the third stitch I would do 1 triple crochet. And then into the fourth stitch I would do 2 quadruple crochets. So I'm done with making the first half of the applique, and you would now make another half of it with the opposite color by repeating the same steps. And you can also now cut the yarn at the center as you no longer need it. And so here we have 2 halves of the yin and yang, and we will join it together. You would need to join it at the 10th stitch, and so just now we already worked on 4 of the stitches, and now here is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, and so you would do 2 single crochets into the 10th stitch. This is followed by a single crochet into the 11th stitch, and then into the very last stitch you would do 1 single crochet and 1 slip stitch. You would then end the round by doing a slip stitch into the first stitch. You can then chain 1, cut the yarn and pull the yarn through. Make sure that the yarn that you pull is long enough for you to do the attaching of the applique to the head later on. You would then repeat the same steps again for the other half, where you join by doing a 2 single crochet into the 10th stitch, and then 1 single crochet into the 11th stitch, and then 1 single crochet and 1 slip stitch into the last stitch. You will complete this round by doing a slip stitch to the first stitch, do a chain 1, cut the yarn and pull the yarn through. Make sure it's long enough so that you can join the 2 halves later on by sewing, and also so that you can attach the applique on the head later on. You can now use the remaining bits of the yarn to sew the 2 halves together. Once you have successfully joined the 2 halves together, you will use the remaining yarns to attach the applique to the head. Now for the wheel-like applique, you would begin by forming a slip knot and do a chain 10. And then you would do 1 triple crochet into the first chain. You would then do a chain 5, followed by 1 triple crochet into the same first chain, and you would do this for a total of 2 times. You would then do a chain 5, and you would then do a slip stitch into the 5th chain of the main chain here. For the second round, you would do a chain 1, and then into the chain space, you would do 5 single crochet. I would then do 1 single crochet into the stitch in the middle. You would continue repeating the same steps, such that in total, you do it for a total of 4 times. So here, I'm doing the very last single crochet into the middle stitch. And then I would complete this round by doing a slip stitch into the first stitch, and then doing a chain 1, and cutting the yarn, making sure that the yarn is long enough for me to attach the applique onto the hat later on. Having made the 4 appliques, you may now attach them onto the hat. And after attaching the appliques, this is how your hat would look like. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed the video and the tutorial. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!